Hey guys, when we got everything said and done, including the cross-linking strength, we found that there's still two more things we had to do and they're done now. And they make perfect sense when you think about it. And you can probably guess what we did. One is schema, being able to produce schema for each of the web pages that is appropriate to the web page and crystal clear. I'm going to show you that here in a minute. And then the other thing is linking out to expertise, authority, trust, experience websites. So even if we're writing perfectly about given topics, we're telling people, man, what is dry eye? It's this. Types of dry, it's that. Dry science, here's what that's all about. And here are things you could do and habits and myths and diagnosis and causes and everything, right? That's great, but how does Google really know if we're writing smartly or not? I mean, it's kind of got to guess, but it's not really trying to diagnose every single page we write in that sense. So what do we need to do to help lower our risk in Google's eyes and also in visitors' eyes? Create some links into the paragraphs for the keywords that we're after that link out to authority sites, right? Like webmd.org. We want to link out to .govs, .edus, .orgs, the kind of thing that shows up high for the given keywords. So there are ways to look these guys up really, really fast. Like if you go to Spyful and look up a keyword, you can look up the SERP results. Start looking for the govs and the edus, right? And the orgs that are like household names that are ranking high, big websites, and you're seeing the exact link to the exact page that talks about the topic because you did the keyword research, right? So that's what we do. So we can put a bunch of those together and then we can upload it to filter through the web pages so that we are creating external authority links, right, to justify ourselves, to build up our expertise, authority, trust, experience by linking out to the big boys, right? Okay, but right here, right now, let me show you schema because this was a pain, but we got it. So the idea of schema is that page by page, we're telling Google exactly what the page is about and the whole scope of the page, you know. So what the body covers like a summary of the entire page and what the individual topics are, we kind of just say it out loud. Yes, these are the H1s, H2s, and H3s. And that is what we're talking about in reference to this body of breakdown. So let me show you what I mean. You get to a sitemap and you've got different things. What is dry eye, right? That's understanding vision health. Then you have stuff like guide to recognizing symptoms, signs and treatments. Then you have things like combating digital fatigue. Okay, of course I want to write about all this, but who's going to trust me unless I reference some of the big boys out there, right? And that's that. But as far as just breaking down each page, I want to make sure to get the schema in place, right? So that Google sees it. So here's what that looks like. If I open up a file, I've got my domains here, and for every domain I have a link to every page, okay? And remember, we created these pages from an initial content planner that included the topical authority, minimizing the niche gaps, no overlapping topics. So we knew what every page was going to be about, and we still have that stuff in that file to work with. Anyway, I'm just going to show you can do this. It's like each row could be written by a different person. So I just used a bunch of author names, you know, for different people. Of course, it would probably be the same person or the same three people who work together to write the whole website. But I'm just showing you that every page can be for a different person. Okay, now that person belongs to some organization. Okay, so what's the name of the organization? It could be any name for any organization, right? It's not necessarily something Google does recognize. It's just who wrote it from what, you know, organization. So again, we could have one or more organizations here. Now, if we're trying to attribute this, we might get a ghostwriter to work with us who is in the industry and writes informational topics about that. We might just reach out to someone. It's kind of like a help a reporter out kind of concept. There are ghostwriters out there and there are writers out there who would love to be given more credit for more writings than they've done, but it gives us somebody to link to who says, I would vouch for that information. You're writing general purpose information about this stuff? Sure. So that's just one way to go about it. There's so many ways to do it. You could just do it in-house with your own personnel. Okay, having said that, the article body comes from the prompts we use to write each web page. So we generated the prompt with OpenAI for that web page, for the purpose of that web page. So we told OpenAI, here's a backstory for what the website is. Now we want to write first about this topic, then that topic, then that topic, then that topic. And so it said, okay, I'll give you an adjusted backstory for each topic that's optimized for the topic. So we've got it. No two of these are the same. At the company, our journey began with a simple question. The next one, at the company, we are dedicated to promoting the device, and it continues. Okay? What next? We're going to include the H1 and H2s anyway as article sections. And all this is saying is, do we also want to include the H3s? Yeah, I like the idea. It gives Google more fodder to work with for ranking each page for keywords. Okay, so that was just kind of like a personal choice. If we felt like it's too much information and sometimes it's better to hone, then we can go back and switch that off and rerun Schema. We can remove Schema and then recreate it with only the H2s. Okay, so we could test. We could have a bunch of these on and a bunch of these off, just in sets. Or we could have a whole website, all of them are on, another whole website, all of them are off, okay? And we could go on and on that way. All right, and this way we could handle thousands of pages on hundreds of websites all at the same time. So check this out. Here's how it looks when we get there. So we just upload our Excel file and say submit it. If we wanted to remove Schema, we just put in the domains, and whatever we created, it gets removed from all the pages, so that we could then put our adjusted version up and submit it, so that we updated the Schema on all the pages. Google will catch on to that after a day or two or three, and then Google will come back around and reassess the pages based on the new way we're doing the Schema. That also acts like a change to the page, so Google realizes that these pages are being attended to. Very cool. Check this one out. I'm going to walk you through, in the next videos, a bunch of quick and easy steps, how it is that we track what we're doing so we don't miss anything important, and how we make sure to get everything into play to make a simple topic like this, which is a whole bunch of words. What's it missing? Everything. There's no table of contents, there's no sidebar with related pages, there's no images, there's no videos, there's no banner ad. Nothing is in the pages yet. So I'm going to walk through and make all those changes really, really fast, and you guys will be able to see how that works. It's so cool, and how we track it. But one thing that exists right now in those pages, when I look at the source code, is the Schema. Okay, so if I check two of those pages out, just to make the point, right? You can go to schema.org, and you can hit their validate button, and it'll ask you, are we doing a test based on fetching a URL where the Schema is on the page? Or are you testing a code snippet, just paste it here, right? So it's up to us. But right now we're having fun fetching the URLs and just presenting them, right? So I fetched two. One of them is shorter because it's the home page, and that doesn't really have a lot of content written on it. That's the sections that introduce everything. So take a look. It's an article. It's the home page is the headline. In this case, I could change that. The date published today. Article body. It explains what the page is all about right here. Crystal clear, nice and beautiful, and easy to understand, even for Google. It's for a web page. This is the URL written by this guy from this organization. Okay. And the image that should go with this page is the logo. And that is the logo. and we're saying that's the object, a logo that represents the page. So now Google knows all of this, okay? And can therefore consider what this page should rank for, okay? So when it reassesses the pages, it's comparing it to the Schema to decide all the points that are the most important. Now take a look at this. I'm going to show you a page that's busy. The type is an article with the headline, like what is dry eye. The image for it is right here. It is specified. It was written here. And these are each of the sections that are on the page, crystal clear, right? So Google has an inventory of everything we talk about on this page, a paragraph or 2 or 3 each. And this is the summary that explains the page, different than the other one, okay? It's all about this page only. And it goes through the rest of the stuff. It's a web page. Here's the URL written by this guy from this organization. And the logo is this logo. Okay, so Google knows when to show the logo next to the page on Google page results, for anything. It also knows the section. So if people are asking and they're getting related questions or whatever, these kinds of things can go showing up on those pages. All right. So this is huge. It was a really big deal that we do it. The way we know that we got it right, it tells us 0 errors, 0 warnings. Okay? And even for this really long one here, 0 errors, 0 warnings. Okay? We mastered Schema, guys. We can do it for all of our pages, for all of our topics. And the only thing we're going to still question until we figure it out is whether it's good to include every H2 and H3 like we have here, or if we should flip the H3s off and use the smaller selection, just the H2s. I like the idea of the H2s and the H3s, and so I'm going to run it. But the fact of the matter is, we'll test both. We'll actually get a die-hard answer. Okay, I wanted to show you that we now have Schema mastered. So all the sites we're doing that have to do with leads, all the sites we're doing that have to do with website flipping, all the sites that we are doing for clients, all the sites that we're doing for anyone and everything, and all the sites we're updating for everyone, is following all the right steps. So we've built everything. And so there's the Schema part of it. I'll show you the way we can easily build the EEAT, which is the other big part. And then I'll show you really a 30,000 foot view of where we are and how we know that we're getting the pages perfect every single time. In other words, a lot of the effort we put in wasn't just creating tools that did stuff, but monitoring tools, check tools, tools that told us what we were still missing, so we don't have to try to look through thousands of pages to see. And our ability to fix and improve any and everything, dealing with that, is absolutely out of this world now. And I don't know any other system that's this crystal clear. So yeah, enjoy the next couple of videos if you're interested in this information, because those of you who want jobs done, those of you who want to start these websites up, those of you who want to incorporate like our live chat agent, stuff like that, and make your world really, really cool. We're doing this stuff in real time. And don't forget, I don't know whose pages except for ours can actually track how far down people scroll, what they click on, and rearrange sections to increase their interest in staying on the page longer and or clicking on more things. And all the above the fold stuff we need to do so that pages can independently rank for many more keywords each, because you're one click away from all these related concepts and topics, and they're all covered, okay? Which is like this right here. You know how many keyword combinations you can show up for? It's wrapped around some of the wording from here and some of the wording from there and some of the wording from there. Any combinations of any of these words, because we have the table of contents and our related pages, you're either one click away to go down the page or one click away to go to the other page that talks about that topic. Allows the pages to rank for many more keywords each. Really big deal. And we got that stuff mastered recently. Okay, I'll break into that next. All right.